I'm going on. So the purpose
Continue.
of this study, okay, the purpose of this study was to determine the characteristics and other factors that Daystar University national and international students exhibit during their interaction and which were likely to affect the quality of their interaction. Further, it's sought to classify these characteristics according to the levels of intercultural communication, describe the process they use to restore relationships when misunderstanding occurs, and to suggest an intercultural communication model that would help both national and international students communicate effectively. Uh, the method actually was qualitative, and we used focus group discussion and also in-depth interview. Um, that was the abstract, and I want to go straight to the main thing. Actually, I articulated the content into many chapters, but I'm going to go through them quickly so that people will understand exactly what I have here to present. So the study of everyday interaction as it occurs between people in their face-to-face relationships is very vital for the existence of any group of people, society, and organization. Miel and Dallos actually wrote and said that form and detail can make important differences to the course of relationship. And so how something is said and done, as well as what is said and done, affects people's expectation and understanding of each other. So Daystar University students are prone to this because of their diverse cultural values, beliefs, and patterns of behavior, which affect the way they interact with each other. Buregea, the university teaches communication skills. Actually, in an interview, it was revealed that actually the quality of interaction has not been as healthy as it was supposed to be. And actually, that was stressed by the international student advisor as well as the hostel warden. So my research questions were actually what characteristics that national students and international students do exhibit during their interaction, and which other factors were associated with their interaction, and how did they proceed to restore relationship when misunderstanding occurred. So the purpose of the study was to determine the characteristics and other factors that Daystar University national and international students exhibit during their interaction. And the objectives actually included the following: to determine the characteristics and other related factors that the Daystar University national and international students exhibit during their interaction. Then to classify also these characteristics according to the levels of intercultural communication and explain how these characteristics and related factors affect interactions between students. The third one was to describe the process used by both categories of students to bring about understanding when they encounter communication difficulties. Fourthly, to suggest an intercultural communication model that could improve the quality of interaction between Daystar University, national, and international students. So there were some limitations and some the limitations, but I want to stress the rationale because of the time of the study. Students come from different cultures. Actually, it was crucial to note that they value believing and how they behave actually may affect the quality of their interaction. So this could lead to misunderstanding due to the similarities between their values, beliefs, attitudes, knowledge, and so forth. So it was important to analyze all these dynamics in a defined social context, which interactions between students actually provided. So the study was significant in the fact that actually it was supposed to be beneficial to all students, both national and international students, in order to improve on their interaction, which is one of the crucial aspects of communication, especially when they are studying together. So the study was confined to interaction between national students and international students, and also required that only students who have been studying for at least 1 year be part of the sample. And this was really to make sure that people had enough time to interact so that their opinion can be very significant to this study. So we also did some review of literature, and we focused mainly on communication, communication and culture, intercultural communication, interpersonal communication, attribution theory, and first negotiation theory, as well as interpersonal and intercultural communication. Also, barriers to effective intercultural communication, and then education for intercultural experience with intercultural communication competence, and also the theoretical framework actually for effective intercultural communication. So we listed some barriers. and that was to help us actually come up with a new model. So basically, through the methodology, actually we use significantly focus group discussions and also in-depth interview, two methods to stress triangulation to make sure that we get enough opinions from students to make significant conclusion on the study. So we organized interviews and we had in-depth interviews as well as a focus group discussion, and we involved students, administrators, resident tutors, and student representatives so that we have a variety of people who can really give their opinions on the quality of interaction. Uh, in this chapter, the research actually for its findings after conducting both focus group discussions and in-depth interviews, we realized actually that the study was very interesting and the findings provided an explanation of the quality of interaction that students had. So they reflected as much as possible actually the opinions and experiences of participants that were given response to questions that were asked by the researcher. The approach of presentation was analytical and synthetic in nature, confined to the characteristics of intercultural interaction of students at Daystar University. The research findings were analyzed, organized, and presented in terms of responses in the manner of common response, difference in response, a unique response, if any, and comments and explanation by the researcher. So the findings reveal different characteristics that actually were seen among both national students and international students. So on one hand, national students were viewed by international students in the different ways. So we classified the characteristics into two groups, positive and negative. Now I'm going to present to you the positive characteristics that the international students viewed in the behavior of national students, and this included the following. National students have a strong sense of nationalism, accommodating, welcoming, positively proud, and hence more assertive. They also are dynamic and are flexible and quick to adapt. Negative characteristics, international students pointed out that national students have a kind of stereotype, generalization, and assume similarities about international students depending on where these international students come from. They seem to be individualistic and self-centered, mixed languages when they are speaking together or with international students. They also tend to be explosive and impatient, quick to correct and lazy to read about other countries. National students are Western oriented and do not care about others. They talk too fast and sometimes ignore the weaknesses of international students as far as language is concerned. So on the other side, on the other hand, actually international students were viewed by national students in Daystar University in Nairobi, and they pointed out the following positive characteristics that included the following. So international students have a strong sense of nationality, and their dressing styles actually were very impressive. They have the best dishes as far as the food is concerned and are more sensitive about what happens in Kenya than national students. They were also positively curious. International students did not mix languages when they talked. So to national students, they were time conscious and also respected the older people as well as the lecturers, including ladies. On the other side, the national student pointed out negative characteristics that are as following. The national students actually also have stereotypes, exactly like their counterparts from the national side. Also, they have also generalizations and assume similarities about national students. They are not assertive and resign earlier in case misunderstanding has occurred. When involved in an argument, they always like to cluster according to where they come from. Most of them do not take part in the activities organized by Daystar University for social welfare. They seem to be study oriented and lack curiosity about what was going on within the university. So, exchange of information with international students was viewed as boring by national students most of the time because their messages were either related to wars or bitterness of life, or on the other side, they seem to be shallow and not interesting because they did not master English, Kiswahili, or Sheng or slang, the mix of both local and international students, that actually most students in Nairobi, especially national students, speak fluently. So moreover, they communicate slowly and do not follow the rules of English language, except the American students also who speak too quickly. By the way, the study focused on students from more than 22 countries. All the above characteristics were discussed in relation to the levels of intercultural communication dynamics. Some characteristics were related to perception, verbal communication, and others to non-verbal communication. So perception is a complex process that involves psychological influences from the perceiving organism. Perceivers' needs, wants, moods, attitudes, and also assumptions form these influences, as Severin and Tankard pointed out in 1997 in their book. Uh, Different characteristics that both categories of children exhibit in their interactions are reflected, by the way, of not only their attitudes, beliefs, but also reflection of individual personalities. And this influence actually how children perceive each other. So there were problems related to kinesics
Hello,
and
Mr. Henry.
prosemics. International
Mr.
students,
Henry.
yes,
Hello. Mr. Henry, got
yes.
3 more minutes. Yeah. Another three
Okay.
more minutes
So
available for you.
actually, those Thank you. So
Uh,
actually, characteristics of human interaction relation were related to perception, verbal communication, and non-verbal communication. So according to that, we recommended the following for national students. The people have to pay attention to the negative characteristics and that were pointed out in the study, so that individualistic, assertive, and aggressiveness must learn to speak too fast is another characteristic. Minimize use of slang or teach Sheng words to the international students. So on the other side, international students also they should try to be assertive and avoid clustering. Also get much more involved in student university activities. To both categories of students, they should understand that people are different and will always be different. Hence, the study recommend that they all go an extra mile to learn from each other. Also, we encourage the university to work on the orientation training program so that students will behave and also consider content of age as well as sex and gender, money, and environmental factors to help improve on the quality of interaction. And then Daystar University as a whole should promote intercultural communication principles in all activities and establish a forum for international communication. So, in conclusion, the study concerns human interaction between national students and international students at Daystar University. And after using focus group discussion and in-depth interview session, the researcher found that human interaction between students were not as healthy as they should. And university should encourage mutual acceptance, encouragement, and love that they preach. The researcher also suggests that university implements all the recommendations as soon as possible. I want to just stress that it's only through academic research for innovation in practice and policy that actually we can have power to cause change and develop policies to help improve the quality of interaction that are actually very crucial for education to be effective. So I want to thank So once again for this opportunity to present this research study. And just want to say that let's move forward to do more researches to improve the quality of interaction between students and later on maybe between students and staff. Thank you so much for this presentation and have a good evening. Thank you.